Just recently, we conducted some interviews with the major trade customers in the US. These customers represented about 40% of our sales in the US, so it was a fairly good sample. And it was very interesting. What we actually did was to actually get them to identify who our major competitors are, and these are the retail booksellers we're talking about there, and we talked to the big chains as well as the small independents. We then got them to assess our performance for about 40 different service factors, and these service factors covered things like the order to fulfillment process, but also factors about our products, our pricing, our account management, and our brand. And we got them to assess our performance against that key competitor for each of those 40 factors. We then got them to rank the importance of each of those 40 factors. And there were three major issues actually, which came out of it. First one was actually a brand issue, which was that most of them actually identified Moon and Rough Guides as our key competitors, which on one hand made some sense, but was slightly worrying because our major competitors in terms of sales is clearly Photos and Frommer's, and very few people actually saw them as a direct competitor. The second key issue that came out is that we actually were performing extremely well against those two competitors in all facets of the business. And of the 40, I think it was 43 factors, we only performed worse than the competitors on average for 2 of those 43 factors. And that was really, really terrific from our perspective, that we are doing so well in all aspects of our business there. The third interesting thing was the very high importance they ranked the order to fulfillment factors on. And I think of the 10 or so order to fulfillment service factors, they all ranked in the top 15 out of 40 odd factors. And I think it highlighted for me a real opportunity for us that we've got a fantastic product, we've got a great brand, and the survey very much reinforced that because the quality of product was the number one ranked issue. But what was really quite interesting from my perspective was that I felt there's a real opportunity for us to compete on order to fulfillment because it did rank so highly, and we are doing so well compared to our competitors. Now, what we're going to do in the next phase is to actually go and talk to further customers. We did miss out on 2 or 3 major customers who were going through restructuring themselves. And what we're going to do is to get them to assess our performance against Photos and Frommer's and see whether there's any major difference there from the existing information we've collected. But as I said, I feel there is significant opportunities to use our strength in fulfillment, where we actually do our own fulfillment in the US, as a competitive advantage against much larger competitors who clearly have not focused on the travel segment in the way that we are, and have clearly not understood the requirements of the travel bookstores in terms of getting the product into the stores in a timely way.